Welcome to Laptop Guide. Today we are taking a look at the Kingbook K100 from Vastking. The notebook features an Intel Celeron N4020 dual-core CPU with a built-in Intel 600 graphics card. It has 8GB of RAM and offers 256GB of SSD storage. The K100 has a 14-inch 1080p display, a 720p webcam and runs Windows 10 S. The notebook only weighs 1.4 kg and costs $430. After opening the box, you will find the notebook, a quick starter guide and a webcam spy protection, as well as a charger. The charger seems to be only sold with a US socket, so if you order this notebook in Europe, you will need an adapter. If pink is not your favorite color, don't worry, there's also a space gray option. The build quality is okay. At this price point, you just can't expect the best of the best. The chassis flex is completely fine regarding this price. I have seen far worse for more money. This notebook is entirely made out of plastic and therefore feels really light. The keyboard is giving away the low price point the most. It feels mushy and the keystrokes really don't feel satisfying if you're used to a better keyboard. The keys also feel quite different to each other. The sound of the keystrokes underlines that. Luckily, the layout of the keyboard is quite standard. You even get full-sized arrow keys. Overall, the keyboard could be better, but for that price, it's decent enough. On the left side of the K100, you will find the USB-A port, the charging port, a mini HDMI port, as well as a USB Type-C port. On the right side, there is another USB-A port, as well as a headphone jack and a microSD slot. The USB-C port unfortunately doesn't support display out or charging. I find it kind of weird that Vastking didn't go with a standard full-size HDMI port, so you will need a special cable or an adapter if you're trying to connect yourself with an HDMI display. The 14-inch screen delivers an okay looking picture quality with a resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels. The bezels of the display are quite slim, which is nice. Vastking claims a brightness of 220 nits, which is a little bit on the low end compared to the typical 300 nits most notebooks have. Indoor, the screen brightness is completely fine. Just don't expect to use this laptop outdoors comfortably. Vastking also claims a 72% coverage of the NTSC color space, which is a good value for that price point. The colors, just like the viewing angles, are quite good thanks to the IPS display. Unfortunately, I see quite a lot of screen bleeding while displaying dark images. In this category, the Kingbook K100 really falls apart a bit. The Intel N4020 is a dual-core SoC which was released at the end of 2019. It offers 2 cores, no hyperthreading and a core frequency of 1.1 GHz and up to 2.8 GHz. It's only meant for light office work or web browsing. Doing anything else can bring the notebook to its limits. Real multitasking is only partly possible. For example, while setting up the notebook for this review, I installed all the available Windows updates and maxed the device out at 100% for minutes. The system became unresponsive. I couldn't do anything else during that process. Here are some benchmark scores for better comparing the performance to different devices. The AMD Ryzen 3200U chip is sold in notebooks in the same price range, but is almost 2 times as powerful. It's the same story with the graphics card of both SoCs. If good performance for little money is your main concern, then this device is not for you. If you only plan to use this notebook for some light web surfing and office work, then you will be fine as long as you have some patience from time to time. One comfort point of the K100 is that it never gets loud or hot while using it. The low performance is also probably the reason why the K100 uses Windows 10 S, which is meant for lower end devices. In this version, You can only download programs via the Windows Store and you are stuck with the Edge browser as default. But you easily can switch to a normal Windows 10 version if you wish to do so. The touchpad is surprisingly good. With its size of 12.5 cm by 6.5 cm, it's really big for a 14-inch device. It uses the Microsoft Precision Touchpad driver and therefore multi-finger gestures work really well. The touchpad has a numpad printed on, which you can activate by swiping down on the left side of the touchpad. You can do a right click by tapping with 2 fingers or by pressing down on the right bottom area. Overall, the touchpad is really fun to use. But if you are planning to use an external mouse with the notebook, you can deactivate the touchpad with one of the function keys on the keyboard. Vastking rates the runtime as up to 8 hours for this device. That only seems accurate if you are running the display on half brightness and don't do any work with the CPU. As the max brightness is already quite low, reducing it farther down is only possible in a dim environment. Overall, I would say that the runtime is 5 hours on an average day. Unfortunately, the K100 doesn't support charging via USB-C, so if you ever forget your charger at home, you're probably out of luck. Also, the CPU is so underpowered that a lot of basic tasks already max out the CPU and drain the battery unnecessary. Luckily, the charger is really light and easy to pack. I do need to state that I observed a really weird behavior with my device. The notebook sometimes froze in the sleep mode and there was no way for me to wake up the device. I always had to press the power button for 30 seconds to get it turned on again. I hope this issue only is with my particular device and your unit won't suffer from this issue. Some aspects of the Vastking Kingbook K100 are really good considering the price point. The touchpad is really excellent. It's big, fun to use and the multi-finger gestures work flawless. The amount of ports is decent and so is the battery runtime. The IPS display offers a nice looking picture but would clearly benefit from a brighter display. So far so good. Unfortunately, the performance leaves quite a lot to be desired, especially if you compare it to what AMD is offering right now. Some use cases won't need any extra power though, and for those people, this laptop could be a nice fitting device. I just hope that the issue with my unit is not a universal problem with this device. I will keep you updated in the comment section if I learn anything new about this problem. Other than that, I hope you liked our review. Don't forget to like and subscribe if this video helped you. So see you soon, I wish you a nice day and bye.